Oh shit.
Kills.
Did I fuck
Tell
this
him
up?
it's
Did I
sanitar.
fuck this
Don't,
up?
don't, don't. There's another one somewhere. I'm dead.
Oh shit, everyone's dead. Lamau.
I'm dead.
Notorious is raiding with a
Come
party
on.
of 4
His mistakes
poggers.
were
Yo, what
rooted
up,
in his love for
Notori?
Queen and country.
What
So
fighting
many
game are you playing
mistakes.
today? Were you playing
Made for
fighting
all the
game
right
today?
reasons.
Thanks for the raid, brother. Appreciate ya. Playing some Virtua Fighter? Didn't they like just announce a new version of 5? Oh, it came out today. Justin, thanks for the follow, dude. Is it sick? Do they have rollback in it? Did they
Make
make
up for
the
the things
grave
we've done.
mistake?
Queen 6.
Ah, well.
I love Queen over
Oh,
Simon.
no. It's Final Showdown netcode with improvements, still delay based. Does it feel okay at least? Is it like playable online, depending on distance? I know, right? Don't have rollback netcode, don't talk to me. That's the Sajam Kool-Aid, dude. If both parties have solid connection, I don't have confidence in with whatever random's true. Okay. Have I tried Strive yet? No, I haven't. I'll probably buy it and play it for a while though. Apparently it feels good, man, online, so I don't know. Every time I think about fighting games or talk about fighting games, I just get mad now. I have PTSD. It's really fun and the netcode is amazing though. It's very much a very different GG. I'm honestly okay with it being very different. Like whatever. Man, I just play fighting games for funsies now, so it's whatever. See, I get really moldy because like of the dialogue around fighting games now, because everyone's like, we need to find ways to make the genre more accessible. Don't like, no one's gonna play the games. It's like a dying genre. It's going the way of RTS, which is like low-key true. But then every time a dev tries something, the whole community surrounding that series just loses their shit, right? They're just like, you changed my game! And then every time like someone who's not a fighting game enthusiast makes a video about it, saying like they don't like this particular thing in fighting games, then Sajam makes a video about that video talking about how he'll say some dumb shit like, yeah, if you change that, it would just like be a different game and you'd have to balance moves differently and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, no shit, if you change something in the game, it'd be different and you'd have to change things. Oh yeah, I don't pay attention to any of that shit. I mean, Strive is the prime example. They did everything to make the game more accessible and now everyone is pissed. Yeah, the fucking it's a discussion is a fucking cesspool of cringy people who think they are good enough to make a game. Yeah, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I think most of the ways the devs approach accessibility is dog shit. And it's usually by dumbing down, like, mechanics that are there to include depth in the game. And they never, like, address the skill floor, which is always confusing to me. It's always, like, bringing the skill ceiling down, which I find very confusing. I think there is always the major idea that people seem to refuse to acknowledge that the devs need to make money. Yeah. They don't like to imagine a world where a genre could die off if it doesn't make enough money, right? Game equals hard only caters to current fans, then they aren't making money. I gotta open paint. Right? I have to open paint. Bringing up the paint, right? Like, bro, literally a couple hundred people are still playing Xrd, and you're fucking telling me that if they just re-release Xrd, they're somehow going to make more money, lol. Yeah, exactly, right? Right off the hop. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, this is how I think about accessibility. I don't know if I'm gonna spell this right, but when I think accessibility, this means to me, I think about technology, accessibility and technology, right? I think terminology like plug and play, like it's easy to get going, low commitment. I think of these terms when I think accessibility. Something akin to this, right? And I don't know what it is about fighting game developers, but I feel like they're fairly tone deaf because it seems like they don't look at any other genre of popular competitive video games and see how they tackle competitive accessibility, right? Like if you look at, let's say LoL or Dota, how does these two games like approach accessibility? These are games with insane amounts of depth. You know, you can spend like years trying to improve this game and always be learning new shit. They're always adding new characters. Like learning this game, this genre, MOBAs, is a huge undertaking. So how do they ensure a player of someone that's getting into League of Legends for the first time will stay interested or at the very least not be, you know, pushed away from the genre if they want to take breaks or some shit? Booba skins, that's one way. Yeah, dude, funny enough, a lot of Tekken players, including myself, started playing Apex out of nowhere. Apex is fucking pretty sick. Before we get too deep into LoL, what are we trying to do when we add accessibility to a video game, right? we're trying to hit this guy, casual gamer dude, right? He's not like super into learning shit, but he still wants to have a good time, you know? I feel like fighting game players don't like to acknowledge that people play video games for fun, but this is your casual gamer, right? This is your audience. This is most gamers. This is your gamer pie. This is the audience you want to appeal to. Casual Carson. Yeah, casual gamer, dude. What's gonna get this dude? Okay, you're a casual gamer. You're looking for a new PvP experience, right? A player versus player video game. What are your options? So you got LOL, Dota. This is free, by the way. Free game. Battle Royales. Fucking Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. God, the amount of people that play Warzone is insane. Free, by the way. So that's another genre that's just like, you could pick this up at any time at no cost and figure out if you decide if you like it or not. There's free MMOs. I guess there's PvP in those games too, but I don't know. Let's pretend MMOs don't exist, even though it's like one of the most popular casual gamer genres. Dude, your mouse penmanship is solid, right? Well, I have a tablet, so I'm kind of cheating. Oh, right. Valorant just dropped. That shit's free. Is CSGO free now? I think it is. Well, we'll stick with Valorant. That shit is free. So aside from being free, what do all these games have in common, right? I think the most obvious thing when we're talking accessibility, they work online. So that's one. They're all functioning online. You'd be surprised how little that. I don't think that's like the main thing, but it's definitely important. They all function well online. You can all play them with your friends, right? I don't know, multiplayer, play with friends easily. All very pick up and play. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, let's say you suck balls at video games. You're total dog shit at video games. You struggle to learn things. Controls are like really difficult for you to wrap your head around. I don't know why, but let's say you're a casual gamer and I don't know what kind of games. Let's say you're a casual gamer and all you've played your fucking life is, I don't know, Tetris or fucking turn-based RPGs. You've never played a WASD game or some shit like that. The bare minimum to start playing these games is that the first thing I realize is that everything you do in these games is one button away. Whether that's movement, aiming is one action, shooting is one action, one button or one action, right? This is a huge advantage to all these games. So what does that translate to when you're a casual gamer, right? This means that even if you fucking suck and you get frustrated, you're like mad all of a sudden, right? You're like big sad because you suck at this game. Let's hypothetically say you're like super moldy and you're like, whatever, I got a 9 to 5 to do. I got shit to do, right? So you don't play any of these games for like 2 weeks, hypothetically. This control scheme, or this rule that they all follow, where one button, one action, this isn't gonna require you warm up your wrist or like jerk off a joystick for like 25 minutes to make sure you can still do, you know, a quarter circle or a dragon punch motion on both sides, because half of the day when you started learning the fucking game was dedicated to being able to do this relatively consistently. This dog shit, like, okay, I'm gonna call it dog shit, but I understand that up until now in pre-existing fighting games, it serves an important purpose. But this shit right here, these motions are a huge deterrent to casual players, especially when they're trying to, let alone having fun, but deciding they want to try and learn the game, right? Let's say they get mad frustrated, they're 9 to 5 dudes and they got shit to do with the rest of their day. Like, they get mad, they put the game down for a week, and they come back later and they're like, fuck, I have to like get used to doing this again because it's extremely unintuitive, this shit right here. And it's unintuitive for a couple reasons, not just because of the motion itself. I'll explain why. I actually hate people playing in multi-person lobbies, lose so quickly, and now I gotta wait for my turn again. Yeah, that shit's rough. Yeah, imagine the hurdle you have to get over isn't like a gameplay mechanic or a certain matchup. It's literally how to move your joystick amount. It's more than moving your joystick. It's insane. Because think about these games, right? Like, what does right click do in League of Legends? It's either to move or attack, right? When you're targeting character or minion. So when you right click, when you're right clicking the ground, you know that's gonna move you. And when you right click a character or minion, you know that's gonna attack. But this is where shit gets fucked up with fighting games, right? Because they like betray all the gaming literacy most casual gamers already understand, you know, actions to buttons or like verbs to buttons, you know, jump is a button, block is a button, all that shit. So not only do you have to do this shit on a joystick, but you have to wrap your head around making sure you're comfortable using jump on the joystick. You also have to get used to the concept of blocking being on the joystick when you're walking backwards, which is really jank feeling if you're a casual gamer, because this state of blocking when walking backwards isn't always true, right? It's kind of iffy if you don't understand how a game works or how fighting games work. Sometimes you'll be walking backwards and you're like, oh yeah, I'm walking backwards. But then your enemy opponent will put a hitbox in your face, and then your character is blocking now, right? And you're like, why the fuck did I stop moving? I wanted to walk backwards. But because the hitbox was in a certain proximity from your character blocks for you, right? That feels super shit and weirdly jank, because if you're a casual gamer, because the intent does not match the result, which is super important in almost every game, right? Like, the intent of the player should always, in most cases, match the result, especially in competitive games where it's player versus player. Like, I understand that you can subvert expectations in certain genres and it feels really good and really interesting, but these are competitive video games. That's not the place for that type of interaction, right? So not only is this casual gamer trying to learn fucking 360 this shit, fucking Dragon Punch dick motions, right? They're like, okay, this shit's weird as fuck. Every other game is one action away, one ability, one magic spell away, and you can still be bad at it, but you can at least do it, right? Like, you can be the slowest aimer on the fucking planet in Apex and Valorant. You can aim so fucking slow, and you can be like, and then you're like, okay, I'm looking at the character, and then you right click, right? You hit the right click and it still does the shooty thing. You get good at doing these things, you know, really quickly together, right? That's part of the process. But for fighting games, it's totally different. It's like, you need to be doing this shit relatively quickly, and you need to understand that you have to press the button to combine with this relatively quickly out the gate. Take all this into consideration, right? All the fucking motions, they have to get used to jumping with up while trying to do these motions at the same time, blocking with the joystick while trying to do this shit at the same time. Like, the amount of overlap here, like, it would just with the joystick alone is insane for a casual gamer to really grasp, or even like, I don't know, even like enjoy, in my opinion. Like, because it feels so jank, because no other genre that's like popular does that, right? Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, Valorant, League of Legends. When you right click or left click, it does one thing, and that's the thing it does, right? Most of the time. That's why a lot of people are pissed the damage and drive is so high and the combo is so simple. But like, for a casual gamer, that's what they fucking need. I don't know if they do. I think they need to address this shit. I think for a casual gamer, like, they just want to have fun, right? They don't care how deep the game is, right? Because they're here. They're at the surface still. They just want to have a good time, right? If your casual gamer is here, you know, and they float relatively, let's say they float relatively within this area. Let's say Strive has this much more depth. Maybe fucking Exert had like this much more. I don't fucking know. It's a new game. We don't know what the depth is yet. Anyways, a casual gamer is probably going to float within this area of depth most of the time. Only when they've been here for a certain amount of time, they've kind of felt out the game for a while, and they're realizing they have a lot of fun, are they going to consider, you know, diving into the depth, right? That's why I don't agree with Sajam's take, the Kool-Aid take, about like having casual gamers just needing a learning mentality. Hot take, I might be a bit biased, but I actually feel like Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is literally the perfect casual to pro ratio. The auto combos were awesome and performed, but the depth of the game was insane. So I think there's like fighting game developers, I don't know what they're looking at when they're thinking about accessibility, but it's not other genres, because like, if we talk about Fortnite specifically, Fortnite's control scheme is relatively, you don't have to spend any amount of crazy hours to be able to put up like a stair or a wall or a floor or a roof, because it's all one button away, right? But like, that's obviously not how most people play the game now. Like, this control scheme is not insanely hard to do out the gate. But what it's become is fucking insane, right? Like, I don't know if you've seen editing montages or like box fighting in Fortnite, but it's absolutely crazy. There's a way to translate casual gamers into fucking sweat lords, and like Fortnite, Apex, Valorant do it way better. There's a way to kind of get them, hook them in, right? Fighting games have all this shit up front casual gamers have to deal with before they can even decide if they want to become a sweat lord. Like, imagine being a casual gamer, right? Yeah, the ability to place walls and stuff is super simple, but the ability to build an Eiffel Tower in 5 seconds is where the skill ceiling is. Yeah, like, it gets crazy how deep that game is. It blows my mind when I start thinking about it more and more, right? Because a casual gamer, what's a casual gamer's process going to be like getting into a fighting game, right? Ignoring that every fighting game is like $60+ out the gate. So there's already like a huge barrier entry in the price already when all of these are free. I feel like fighting game players don't acknowledge that all the other popular games are free. Literally no commitment required to even try them out. But every fighting game is bare minimum $60 usually. Huge barrier entry alone right there. Yeah, it's fucked. Yeah, dude, fighting game players need to get humbled real quick. Like if they want this genre to survive in the current market of competitive video games. So yeah, $60 asking price out the gate. Insane. Like absolutely wild. When you have League of Legends, Dota, Fortnite, Apex, Warzone, Valorant, all free games, this alone, you're fucked. You're out of your mind. Also, might be wrong, but didn't Grand Blue versus Simplify specials just single directional holds? They included it, but it had longer cooldowns on the abilities. So it was close, but I was still mad at it. So you're a casual gamer. Let's say for some reason you're like, fuck it, I'm spending $60. We'll figure it out. What's the next step? You're like, okay, I don't know, the tutorial. That's the first thing you have to be forced through. That shows you, oh, you can walk backwards and you walk forward. You jump like this. And these are your basic buttons. And this is how you do the motion or whatever. And you get through that, but then you only have to do it like 3 times. So it's not really like embedded in your brain. This is important yet. Virtual Fighter will at least teach you the esoteric shit instead of other games showing you basic controls and move lists, like actually teach you strategies. Casual gamers don't want to think about strategies. They don't want to think about what's important. They just want to have a fucking blast, dude. They just want to have a good ass time. Like, these games are way better at letting a casual gamer just have a good ass time because it doesn't ask a bunch of bullshit of them up front, right? The tutorial asks you to do this dragon punch motion and this shit, and you're like, okay, whatever, I managed to get through this shit, or whatever the hell. They're like, fuck it, we got through it. I'm gonna find a cool character. Like, who's a cool character? Find character to play. They're like, oh, this character looks cool. I wonder what he does. Oh, okay, let me go look at his move list. And then he looks at the move list and he's like, okay, that's like a half circle back. That's like a fucking TP motion plus the thing. And then he has to do that in training mode. He's like, okay, I can do the tools now. I can do the tools, but I have no fucking idea what they're for or anything. But, you know, I could do them. I don't know. I can only do a dragon punch motion on the left side, but, you know, let's go ham. All this shit is insane that they have to do all of this shit just to start having fun with the game. And people wonder why, like, Smash Bros is more popular with casual gamers. It just blows my mind. I think that's the issue to begin with, the fact that you need to be taught all this shit before you can even feel like you can play the game. Sakurai knew what he was doing when he made that game. You know what's fucked up? Like, I thought about this too, is like every one of these genres is an iteration on something that came before it, right? Battle royales are an iteration on that survival mode in like DayZ DayZ military game, so it became its own genre. Dota and League of Legends MOBAs was an iteration on RTS games, but it was more digestible and easier to get into, so it became more popular. Valorant and CS:GO were an iteration on Half-Life Deathmatch, I believe. Like, that was the base they started with. Like, every insanely popular genre is basically an iteration on an old video game idea. And the most popular casual fighting game, Smash Bros, is an iteration on 2D fighters. Sorry, Joey, you came back to me like ranting on a paint on my stream with paint open.
Dude, I like it though. It's true. Then, like, video games have just a lot of the greatest games ever were just mods.
The fucked up part is, like, this shit right here, Street Fighter 6 could be a really good fighting game and pretty much ignore all of this, right? If they designed it intelligently, of course. If they balanced moves correctly. If they rethought certain special moves and stuff like that. But literally anytime you discuss these ideas, like maybe this stuff being bad for the overall accessibility and success of future fighting games, every fighting game player has PTSD thinking of that time they got fucking hit from full screen with like a 1-frame ultra instinct move. They have PTSD because they imagine the 1-frame ultra instinct kill move or whatever the fuck being on one button, and they're like, oh, that'd be so broken, oh, we can't do that, it would ruin the fucking game, right? But it wouldn't fucking be like that in a new version of the game, like, obviously. The thing is, casual gamers, like, they don't mind being bad at video games, and they don't mind getting frustrated, but they need to be able to walk away and then come back and play without having to, you know, acclimate themselves, warm up their wrists to Dragon Punch motions again, Fireball motions again. Like, this dude needs to be able to get mad at Street Fighter and suck ass, lose his rounds, right? Maybe he takes 2 weeks off or some shit, and he comes back and he's like, okay, I can still jump with the button. I can still block with the button. I can still handle doing, you know, forward plus punch or the special button. Like, I feel the way fighting game players think about casual gamers is just so weird. They need to have a learning mentality. They need to be going into the game learning. They need to be, you know, willing to take the L's and shit like that. They don't care about taking L's. They just want to have fun. But this shit ain't fun, dude. Like, if you're a casual gamer, this shit sucks. This is so AIDS. Imagine you're a casual gamer, right? And all you've played your entire life is like, I don't know, fucking Mario. You know, you're a Rayman enthusiast for some reason.
For some reason.
Or like, you grew up playing Banjo-Kazooie.
That shit was Pog, man.
Yeah, and you played modern games. Let's say you play Uncharted 4 and you're like, yeah, it's a cool game. And you're like, man, I want to try a PvP game. All of these games adhere to a certain amount of gaming literacy, right? You know, jump is a button. The idea of an action would be on a button.
Left trigger.
Yeah,
aim,
left
you know?
trigger shoot, right trigger aim, shit like that. All the actions you can perform are one button. But then this casual gamer, he's like, I'm gonna play fighting games. And fighting games, like, literally just every piece of gaming literacy this dude has, like, come to understand about video games and what they all adhere to is just fucking, like, shit on when he tries fighting games. Yeah, you move with the joystick on your controller, but you also jump with it. You also hold back to block with it, and you also have to do these spinny motions with it plus a button, and you're probably like, man, this feels like shit. Like, this feels so weird and jank, because every game you've played up to this point adheres to a certain set of rules when it comes to gaming literacy. And then Smash Bros drops and it's like, nah, man, you can have jump on a button. You can have jump on a button. That's fine, dude. No, block is a shield. It's a block button. It's a block button. Yeah, jump is on up, but you can turn it off through the control scheme because we're not stupid. Yeah, all those specials, yeah, that's like a direction, just a direction plus a button. We're making it super easy for you to play this game. You still suck ass, but you know, you can still play the game at least. But fighting games, nah, man, jump is up, block is back. And that whole, remember that whole window I talked about where, like, sometimes if you're playing a fighting game and you're walking backwards, it'll make you block because there's a hitbox in your face, but you don't understand that because you don't understand the nuances of how fighting games work. All it feels like to you is that the game is taking away control from you. Yeah, but being bad at a traditional fighter means you don't get to play. Like, you might get one jab in, but being bad at Smash, you can still net you some stocks. It's not even about taking stocks or winning, dude. It's just like all the controls are within your grasp. There's nothing that you can't do slowly in Smash, right? Like, you can hold up on the joystick forever, and if you press B, it's gonna do an up smash or an up special, right? But if you do a quarter circle and wait like 5 seconds and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna hit the B now because I treat these two things as individual actions that I should learn separately and then be able to do as a thing. If you do this too slow, it just doesn't happen. And you're like, what the fuck? I did the thing. Why didn't it work? But no, the game's like, no, you need to be able to do this shit that's already mad confusing to a casual. You need to be able to do this at a certain pace. Like, you need to be able to do this kind of fast, but not super fast. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen.
Fast enough, you know, the perfect amount of fast.
The perfect amount of fast. What also doesn't help is when a fighting game devs make a move have a different cancel timing than other specials or whatnot. Shit is already confusing. Yeah, the thing is, getting into a fighting game is already mad confusing, right? There's all these common rules of gaming literacy. Everything video games has taught you up to this point as a casual gamer is just fucking betrayed. Okay, imagine like this is all the shit you're digesting as a casual gamer, right? And then on top of that, this is where I think casual gamers get really fucked up, dude, right? Like, dude, you think that shit fucks them up? This is where it gets really fucked up, right? And then they let's say for some god-awful reason, they decide to start YouTubing fighting games and how to learn fighting games. Or like, man, like they start asking questions on Reddit about fighting games being too hard or something. They're like, I don't understand how to do this shit. Then they got the FGC boomers, right? These fucking veterans of war that have PTSD and fucking have been like, you know, getting shit on for decades. They come out of the woodworks and they're just literally like, lol, like what a shitter. What a pathetic piece of shit. He thinks the game's too hard. Like you're gonna go nowhere in your life, dude. There's so much weird dialogue around fighting games. Like they're like, lol, too hard, bro. Like, imagine being me in the arcade playing Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, bro. That was a fucking hard fighting game, bro. That was a hard fighting game, dude. Like, if you played Super Turbo, dude, you're a fucking man, bro. You're a fucking, like, you've seen shit, dude. You're a fucking Chad, dude.
Yeah,
oh
like,
my
this
god.
guy's looking to get better and everyone shits on him.
Yeah, he's like, dude, he's like, I find this kind of hard. You got any tips? Imagine thinking that modern fighting games are hard, dude. Like, imagine thinking that fucking Street Fighter 5 is difficult and you don't even have to do the motions perfectly. Fuck.
Idiot.
You idiot. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, fuck, all these people are saying that this version I'm playing, the latest version, is like the baby poo-poo shit of my pants version for dummies. Imagine like learning Strive and you go online and you're like, man, this shit's kind of hard. And then the fucking Exerd players come out of the woodworks, dude. They're like, lol, dude, you're playing like the piss in your pants, baby shit, stupid baby brain version of the game. It's not even hard. They took out all the hard shit. All the depth is fucking gone, dude. So you have this interaction and you're like, oh, I thought I was playing like a game with cool depth or something, right? Seemed kind of interesting. And the whole community's like, nah, dude, it's fucking for babies. It's for stupid people. You're stupid if you play Strive. You're stupid if you play the latest version of our game that has less depth or something like that. Oh, okay, well, I've only been playing it for 1.5 hours on Steam. I'm kind of not having fun, so I'm just gonna return that shit because Steam makes that pretty easy. And then they're like, hang on, LOL is free, Apex, Fortnite, and Warzone is free, Valorant's free, I'm gonna just go try those games. Super Turbo dudes were like, blah, 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 not real Street Fighter, same thing as Street Fighter 4. Yeah, it happens every time a new fighting game comes out. Fighting game boomers are single-handedly turning the community into a toxic cesspool like League. The crazy part is League is toxic because there's millions of players. Yeah, there's only like a couple thousand fighting game boomers at most. How can they make one scene so fucking toxic? I don't know, but they do. They hang on our Kappa all day and r/FGC Reddit and just on Twitter. Imagine imagine you're a YouTuber. You're just like a YouTuber. You're trying to help out these gamers, right? Because their games are dying in popularity. You know, it's going the way of competitive real-time strategy games. You make a video and you open up with something a little bit out of pocket. What do you say? What did he say in the tweet? Sorry, it's on scrub quotes now because he took down the original video because the fighting game community bullied him into thinking his opinion was fucking dog shit. Yeah.
Including the abolishment of motion inputs. I've argued with people about this in the past, and quite frankly, I'm done being patient with this argument. Motion inputs are an ancient relic of fighting games, and they're just simply not needed for any balancing reason at all. It is completely—
Right? Okay, so he says that, right? If you have a fucking brain, you hear that, and you're like, okay, he's talking about games in the future, right? He's talking about future fighting games, not your fucking Super Turbo, not your fucking Street Fighter 5 or 4 with the full screen ultra. He's not talking about that game having one button. But then Sajam, the fucking godlike flow hairline dude, the face of fighting games, hears this.
You lost me. That's not true at all. If you understand fighting games to a somewhat acceptable level, you know that's not true.
Yeah, so he just, he literally just like appeals to the fighting game boomer super hard right here. He's like, not true. In Street Fighter 4, if Honda had a fucking if Honda had his headbutt was one button, and like, if that was the way it was in Street Fighter 4, that game would be bad. Because, you know, the moves are a certain way already and stuff. Yeah, like no shit, if you put one button supers and specials into Street Fighter 4, it would suck. But if you balance for it correctly in like a new version of Street Fighter, it could probably be playable. Like no shit, your favorite version of Street Fighter is gonna suck if you change it. Oh my god. He doesn't even say anything like super insightful. That's the most frustrating thing.
I think you can make fighting games around non-motion inputs. I don't think that's wrong. You just have to design the game differently. Saying like there's no design choice that justifies motion inputs. There's a reason that motion inputs exist. In particular, there's a reason there's inputs like SPD, right? And charge motion inputs exist for extremely powerful fireballs.
Yeah, all that exists for pre-existing fighting games. And all he said was like, he's like, yeah, you could make a fighting game without motions. It'd just be different. And then for some reason, when you say the word different to fighting game players, they're like, I don't like different. I don't like change. Different is bad. So for some reason, everyone that watches this video walks away thinking that this guy's take is total dog shit. But if you have a fucking brain, literally you can just understand he's not talking about your favorite version of Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, or any of that shit. He's clearly talking about future fighting games. But then they're like, the whole community's like, man, imagine Honda's headbutt was on one button. That'd be broken, dude. Yeah, no shit. Clearly wouldn't have it be the same way in new versions. Clearly wouldn't do that. Man, I just fucking went off. Holy shit. I can't wait for League of Legends Fighter to not have motion inputs and the boomers will fucking be drowned out in silence because millions of League fans will overtake them. That's gonna happen, guaranteed. That game's gonna be so popular, it's insane. I think the issue with that video is that he focused too much on why it's not a bad design choice instead of mediating the fact that yes, you can simplify inputs in future games, and obviously it's not going to work in classic games. Yeah, that was the whole thing. I can't even go back and watch that guy's video anymore because he got bullied into taking it down. That was the stupidest. Oh my god. You can't talk about this shit without fighting game players losing their fucking minds. The only way I can watch this is on Scrub Quotes. Scrub Quotes, the Twitter account dedicated to making fun of scrubs and people who lose their mind online because they lost a match or something. He took down the video because all the fucking FGC diehards were like, lol, what a dumb take, you fucking idiot. And we got fucking drink the Kool-Aid, have a learning mentality, fucking take the injection, cult leader, face of fighting games, Sajam. I'm sure he's a great guy, but man, does he enable this shit. It's insane. Like, he literally gives the Twitter Andes and the Reddit Andes all the fuel and fire they need to just think in this very stupid way. Like, the fact someone had an opinion, everyone bullied him, take it down. Like, what the fuck? That's fucking awful. I love Sajam, but yeah, he's got weird 50-50 takes. I might rip this and put it on YouTube because honestly, I've been trying to make a video about this so many times, but it's just like impossible every time. I feel like no matter how intelligently I tackle this topic, I'm gonna have to read comments like this shit. Other games don't use motion inputs. Devil May Cry and Astral Chain would like to know your location, lol. Fucking got him, dude. Symphony of Night. Where was that one fucking guy? I need to find this comment. I died when I read it. I actually died inside. Oh yeah, this guy. Even Super Mario Odyssey has motion inputs. This guy thinks he's making a point. He thinks he's commenting this, and then people are gonna be like, yeah, that's true. Thinks Sajam's gonna read his comment and be like, yeah, that's true. Super Mario Odyssey does have fighting game inputs. Dude, don't get me wrong. I love fighting games, but I also hate them a lot. Well, not fighting games. I just hate the people who talk about them. Yeah, trying to have any kind of input in the current situations in fighting games is like talking to a brick fucking wall. Yeah, it is. I love playing fighting games, but I fucking hate the community. Dude, how could you? Even Super Mario Odyssey has motion inputs. Even the top comment, Devil May Cry and Astral Chain would like to know your location. You know, these aren't single player games or anything that don't require you to, you know, have a grasp of these concepts in a 99-second round against another player in a competitive video game. You know, you could probably suck at all the motion inputs he's referring to here. You could probably suck balls at that shit in Devil May Cry and Astral Chain and still beat the game. But you don't have to. Exactly. You do not have to do any of this in Devil May Cry or Astral Chain or Mario Odyssey, base take by the way, to be able to beat those games. You probably could suck at those games forever and still beat them. You know, they have scaling difficulties. They're designed for different levels of play already. Super Mario Odyssey does that actually really insanely well. Hell, I beat Sirocco boss fighting the wrong way. Yeah, exactly. Casual games can be hard and you can still have depth, but you can still do them incorrectly and beat them, or not play them optimally and still beat them. The fact that is even a conversation blows my mind. It's just not a good point when your competition, you know, the other genres that are free, easy to controls to wrap your head around. By the way, when I'm saying they're easy, that doesn't mean you're gonna be fucking good at them. They're easy. You can still be dog shit at easy controls. That's why everyone who plays League of Legends or Fortnite or Warzone or Valorant isn't fucking Radiant. The controls are easy to understand and wrap your head around, but you can still suck at them. But you can also stop playing the game for like a month and come back and be like, yeah, I'll give it another go. If you take a month off fighting games, like let's say you play a fighting game, you paid that $60, you know, free. You paid that $60 for some stupid reason, and you're playing the game, you get really mad. Let's say you're fucking pissed, you feel the game feels like jank, feels like total garbage, you're frustrated, and for some reason, you see that you've only been playing the game for 1.5 hours on Steam and you didn't return it yet. I'll come back in a month, give it another go. You gotta tackle the fighting game motion inputs again. You gotta acclimate your brain to using block to walk backwards to block again. You gotta just do the whole process over again, dude. I'm just saying, dude, Strive has great animations. The music's pretty sick. But if you've never played a fighting game and you've played League of Legends, you've tried it, you've dabbled in it because it's free, you've tried Fortnite, Warzone, Apex Legends because it's free and you can dabble in it with no commitment. If you've tried Valorant because it's free and you can dabble in it for no commitment, and then you try Strive, you know, the animations are insane, the music's great, everything's great. The controls, this shit is so bad. I get it. The game started out in arcades. I fucking get it, okay? Your game came into existence in an era where consoles and PC gaming wasn't a thing yet. But hey, dude, sorry, it's 2021, and if you want your genre to stay relevant, you gotta adapt. Isn't that the whole fighting game thing? You know, change, adapt, overcome, or some dog shit? That's their whole mantra, dude. Well, hey, the genre has to adapt now because all your competitors, League of Legends, Warzone, Fortnite, Valorant, all free, by the way, they make the control schemes a lot easier to digest. Telling boomers to adapt them out. True. Base take, actually. Fighting games will suffer until the boomer population starts to die down. Never will, because the thing about being a boomer is that it's not actually like how old you are. It's a state of mind. Fighting game boomers, the real grassroots people, the fucking people that have been there since the beginning of the scene, they're boomer in brains. It's like a disease. Their boomer thoughts and their boomer thought processes infect the brains of younger fighting game people who want to get into the games, right? That's how Sage Jam ends up with these boomer takes also, because he's internalized the boomer messaging. Young people who think like this also. This is the story continues, bro. The story continues because they'll never address this shit. What do they got to do? They cope. It's copium all day long with these people. The boomering cope infection infects the youth, infects everybody. The copium is like, what is it? It's like learning an instrument, bro. Fucking guitar or some shit. Or a piano. Piano is a great instrument. You know, dude, you know what's great about learning piano? You can be really bad at piano for like years. You can be really bad at martial arts. It's like learning it's like learning kung fu, dude. It's like learning about kung fu or learning your katas. It's like learning jujitsu and doing your rolls, right? You can suck at these things forever and still have fun at them with them, right? And no one's gonna bust in your room and be like, hey, fight me right now, 99 seconds, show me how fucking good you are. You got 99 seconds to show me how fucking great you are at your piano or your kung fu or your fucking guitar. It's not like learning a guitar. It's not like learning piano. It's not like learning kung fu. It's like learning a fucking video game. A competitive video game. Stop with this. Stop. Yeah. Go up to Stevie Ray Vai or fucking the lead guitar player of fucking Metallica, Children Bodom, Yngwie Malmsteen. Go up to any insanely talented guitar player and be like, yeah, I know what it's like. Yeah, I kind of relate, man. I can kind of relate, dude. I'm fucking Diamond 3 and fucking in Street Fighter, so I kind of get it, you know? It's about the commitment. Go up to fucking Conor McGregor, dude. Go up to that fucking UFC guy. Yeah, dude, I know all about commitment, bro. I know it's tough, man. I'm fucking what's above Diamond in fucking Street Fighter? I'm Masters 2 or some shit in fucking Street Fighter, dude. Yeah, I know a thing or two about commitment, bro. I know what it's like, you know? Fucking miss me with this shit. Get this totally unbased hyperbolic dog shit out of here. It's a competitive video game. I am in no way saying that investing your time in kung fu or music is a better way to spend your time. If you like learning competitive video games and you find value in that, check marks all day, dude. If you're happy doing that, that's cool. Just don't compare them and don't pretend like they're the same thing, for the love of God. For the love of God, don't pretend these are the same thing. If you like playing fighting games or competitive video games and you find value in that, take pride in that, do you. But don't internalize this message because it's so ridiculous. Imagine you started learning MMA and then that night a pro MMA fighter is like, let's fucking throw down right now. Exactly, right? That would be insane. Too late. I already internalized it. Again, I'm not saying people who want to invest their time in competitive games and get good at them are in any way wasting their time at all. If you get value out of that, it's valuable to you, that's fine. I think I'm just gonna rip this, give it some baity title, and put it on YouTube. Thanks for listening to me lose my mind for a second. Love you long time. Hugs and kisses. See you next time I decide to stream.